Okay, we're going to continue our learning here on the 6th of Adar, the evening before Moshe Rabbeinu's yahrzeit birthday, and we're on the 24th of February, continuing our learning in Hishtapchut HaNefesh. Please forgive me that Hashem has seemed fit to give me what people would call allergies. I'm going through tissues and sneezing all of a sudden, and excuse me. So if I need to do this in the middle of learning, please forgive me. All right, here we go. הרינו מקשר עצמי ועצמנו בלים בתור זה לכל הצדיקים האמיתיים שבדורנו לכל הצדיקים האמיתיים שאוכני עפר קדושים אשר בארצם עפר לבינו קדוש צדיק יסוד עולם נחל נעלה מקור חוכמה רבנו נחמן בן פגה נח נחמן מיומן זכוסם יגן עלינו ועל כל ישראל אמן. Okay, here we go. So now we're starting off on chapter 43. He says like this. האדם הזוכה ליועץ רגיל להזבודד באמס ולפרש שיחסו לפני השם יתברך כראוי, a person who merits to always be going out to make himself alone with Hashem, to spread forth his conversation before Hashem as is fitting. בפרט אם זוכה להזבודד בשדות ויערים, especially if he merits to go out to the fields and the forests, אזי הוא מרגיש בכל פסיעה ופסיעה שפוסע שם טעם גן עדן. Then he feels each and every step he takes there in the fields and the forest, he feels, and with every step he tastes the taste of Gan Eden. Now, anybody who's ever spent the time in the fields and the forest with Hidbodedut knows this is true, and it's an amazing experience to go out to the fields, the forests, even if it's only once in a while, even if whatever you can do. So ideally, it'd be great if you could do it every day. Some people don't live so close to the fields and forests. I know people who make a chavrusa. Not everybody has a car, so the one guy with a car with a van picks up a bunch of people and they go out to the forest. I know some group of people in California, they do it every night. They go out to the beach actually to do hiboded all night, and then I also know people who do it up north around Sfat. They go out to the forest, they take people out to the forest, and we're trying to get some organization here to do it. But the main thing is even if it's once in a while, but especially, he says, really person who's doing hiboded all the time is the one who really tastes this, because if you only do it once in a while, it's going to be where you're not used to it. And middle of the night, out in the forest, I know when I first started doing hiboded out in the forest, it took me a while to feel safe. It was like, I'll never forget the first time I went out. I went out not too far, and I brought a flashlight with me, and I actually found a chair. Somebody had obviously been doing hiboded in the forest. I sat down and started talking to Hashem, and I hear something move. What's that? Turning the flashlight. And it took me a couple of times to realize that, you know what? If I believe that Hashem is running the world, then what am I afraid of? And so I was able to talk to Hashem about that and become accustomed to the point where I felt absolutely safe and at home in the forest. And then at that point, the hiboded took on the aspect of this amazing, blissful experience that Rebbe Nachman is describing here. So it's good to try to get there. Certainly, once in a while is great, but if you can do it on a regular basis and get used to being in the forest, that's where you'll really find the amazing experience. Also, when a person does get to go out in the forest and cry his heart, and the forest is a great place, especially if you can go to a place that's far away from people and you don't feel self-conscious, and you can cry out to Hashem, Abba, please, I want to come close to you so much. And saying it with a full voice, it's a very different experience. Saying with tremendous power, speaking with power, speaking with volume. There's a very big difference between whispering, speaking, and then saying it loud as far as how much your heart gets drawn into it. So you can go out to the forest and you speak, Hashem, Hashem, whatever you're talking. And then when you come back, he says, when you come back from the forest, as kol ha'olam chadash beinav, the entire world's like brand new in his eyes. V'din belo ki ilu ha'olam acher chadash legamre. It seems to the person as if he's in a totally different world, an absolutely brand new world that's completely new. Ve'en ha'olam nireh beinav klal kashem ekodem. And the person will feel that the world is not at all like it was before he went out. And this is again my personal experience, and I know that anybody else who's spent time out in the forest and Hidbodedut also attests to this being true. So again, it's always one of the prayers, one of the things that needs a lot of encouragement. So please be encouraged. Go out to the forest, go out to a field, take your car, get a bus in the middle of it. It doesn't have to be in the middle of the night. It's the ideal time, Chatzot Laila. But you can go out in the middle of the day, go out to the forest and find a place where you can scream and talk to Hashem with a full voice. I'm glad you did. Excuse me. Okay, Mem Daled. When Rebbe Nachman first was discussing this subject, this idea, this new way, which is really an ancient way of going and making yourself alone with Hashem and having a conversation between yourself and Hashem. So Reb Nachman, his main student, who was about 20 at the time, or 22 I think, and he spoke with him, and he said to him, "Hello, kol adam hu ba'al bechira." He asked him, "Isn't every person? What is this whole idea of going to talk to Hashem? It does, like, what Hashem is going to give me that I can do tshuva? Isn't it up to my choice? What am I asking Hashem to give me the ability to do tshuva? Isn't a person an absolute has an absolute free choice?" Rebbe Nachman didn't respond specifically to this point, but said, he said in such a way, he was saying, it's true that we have absolute free choice, but nevertheless, needed to say, it's impossible to explain this completely. Now, if we, in our time, because we have this word that Rebbe Nachman, I don't know if he had it in his time, I understand this word was formed by Einstein, so he lived after Rebbe Nachman, and that word is paradox. That there's two things that are true at the same time, and that we intellectually cannot fathom how it can be. And we've talked about this before, that really there's no such thing as Orthodox Judaism, there's paradox Judaism. Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. There's free choice, which is multiplicity, Hashem Elokeinu, but there's also the truth that Hashem is creating the world brand new each moment according to His will. And in that place, the interaction that we have is prayer. The interaction that is, please Hashem, when you create the world the next minute from now, create me with strength to overcome my Yetzer Hara. Basically, that's where it's coming from. Nevertheless, it's an idea, but far be it for me to think that I know and explain it something better than Rebbe Nachman say, and he says it's impossible to really explain this completely, and even what I just said is certainly anybody who has a little bit of a brain understands that I didn't explain it completely. We just say, it's paradox. Nevertheless, even though it's true that we have absolute free choice, you need to conduct yourself this way, that you talk to Hashem and ask Him for what you need, even though it's your choice to when to do it. And Rebbe Nachman didn't pursue it because really he already knew that you can ask this question not just about Hibodedut, you can ask this question about the prayers that the rabbis of our sages instituted for us to say that are found in the Siddur on matters of tshuva, of matters of drawing close to Hashem. Like we say in the Shemona Esrei, we say Hashivenu Avinu Toratecha. Hashivenu Avinu Toratecha. Please Hashem, bring us back to your Torah. And bring us close to your service, right? So why should we be asking Hashem that if we have free choice? It's my choice to come back to. It's my choice to Hashem that I'm going to learn Torah or not. It's my choice whether or not I'm going to come close to serving Hashem. But he's saying no. Nevertheless, even though that's true, we still need to conduct ourselves thusly and ask Hashem for this. Excuse me. Okay, so no, let's speak of that. Okay, so that's what he's saying is there. We can ask this with the Yetzer Hara is going to try to get us all the time on this. The question, these types of questions. Why should I be talking to Hashem about this when it's a matter of free choice, my choice. When Hashem's going to give me this, and yes, the answer is that Hashem can and does. And even though it's absolute free choice, it's also absolute that Hashem's in charge, both simultaneously. Okay, Mem Hey 45. Amar, Rebbe Nachman said, Tov sheyomar hadam b'shas hizboidus k'shmisboided ben onokono. And when a person, when you do get to do these boidus, when you go to set yourself before Hashem and make yourself alone, so before you start, you say, Hayom ani maschil lehitabek becha. It's good to say this, saying, today, Hashem, I am beginning to cleave to you. Today, I'm starting to cleave to you. Today, I'm starting to come close to you. Today, I'm starting to make myself stay present with your existence in my daily life, to cleave to you. And he says, V'ya'asek kol pam haskala. He says, so every time you come brand new, every time you come to do his bodhidus, make it brand new. Make it like you've never done before. And make it like you've never started to come close to Hashem before. And you make the statement, Hayom ani maschil. Today I'm beginning to come close to cleave to you, to draw myself close to you with an intimate. Today I'm starting to become intimate with you. Right? These are the types of things. So how do you do all this? You have to make yourself say the words. You have to sit down, think about what do you want to say. You're saying, Hashem, please let me remember. Rebbe Nachman said that it's good to start by Hibodidut, saying, Hashem, Hayom, today I'm beginning to draw close to you. Please may it be your will that I should remember to start with that. And so he says, you make it brand new each time at beginning. Ki kol hamshachois holchir achar haskalos, because no matter, the way the foundation one lays when we start creates the ability to build upon that foundation. So therefore, whatever comes out of that from then on is affected by the way you started. So if you're starting with a conscious declaration, Hashem, today I'm beginning to come close to you, today I'm beginning to increase my intimacy with you. So then that's going to create the vessel and the ability to experience much more of that type of connection. And even this idea Rebbe Nachman says back in his time 200 years ago, the philosophers that people would say these types of things, but even in our time too, positive mental attitude people who deal with positive thinking and success orientation, they also say the same thing, that everything's dependent on the beginning. So we have to make a brand new start each time. Says that even in this time, the philosophers would always say that the beginning is like 50% of everything that's going to happen. So we see that it doesn't matter. What does it matter? In other words, you think, well, I made a start. I already started yesterday. I started last week. I started last month. I've been doing Hishtapchut for years. Why should I say Hayom? Why should I say I'm starting today, Hashem? I'm beginning to come close to you. He says, but the answer is why not? The answer is why not? Because why not? If you had a good start before, right? Make it now. You're going to even start even more. You're going to make it even more powerful. And if before you started, but you didn't start well, and you didn't get it going, therefore you absolutely certainly have to give yourself a new start. So he says either way, if you already started and you had a good start, so start again and make it even better, because Hashem's infinite. No matter how much we've started, no matter how much we've done, there's always more. And that's how when a person knows that, when a person doesn't grow satisfied and self-complacent, we can always ask for more. And Hashem wants to give us more. and Hashem wants to give us more. It's true. So we can always ask for more, and that's what he's talking about. Always not only ask for more, but begin again every single time, brand new. Okay, any questions on that? Here we go on to 46. Ben Bob. Baruch Hashem. B'Rosh Hashanah Achron B'Uman Hayatz Lo Nechto HaChacham Bar Yisrael. When on Rebbe Nachman's last Rosh Hashanah in the world, he was in Uman, and it was 2 weeks before he was destined to leave the world. And his grandson, his grandson, who at the time who became a great tzaddik in his own right, but his grandson was with him, Yisrael, who was named after Rebbe Nachman's great grandfather, the Baal Shem Tov, Rebbe Yisrael ben Eliezer, and he was the son of his daughter Ben Bito Atzdekis Bar Sarah, and his daughter Sarah was also named for the Baal Shem Tov's mother, actually. Where's the Baal Shem Tov's wife? No, it's the mother. And so the Sarah's son, Yisrael, he was like 3 or 4 years old. And this was a time when the illness that Rebbe Nachman, the tuberculosis, that was what he was, the name of the illness that we see was, he had a lung illness, coughing up blood, something that, it was a horrendous illness, something that people at the time would normally die within a few months from, and Rebbe Nachman had it for 3 years. So, he was in the last stages of this illness, when the illness was tremendously strong. Like it was very close to when he left the world. He died immediately after that time during the Chol HaMoed of Sukkot. He says to his grandson, Yisrael, pray for me that Hashem should pray for me to Hashem that I should return to my health. So his little grandson, his 3 or 4 year old grandson, he says, give me your watch. Give me your watch and I'll pray for you. Now, Rebbe Nachman said to the people who were standing around, he's already like a big Rebbe. Because when a Rebbe prays for somebody, they know that they take a pidyon, like a coin, or something the person possesses, to be able to access the nefesh energy. That's what happens. There's the soul, the part of the soul that intertwines with physicality is called the nefesh, and so that part of the soul goes into the physical body, but it also goes into the possessions we have. Our soul energy, even again, this is even something that in the non-Jewish world, any world where they talk about energies and things like that, they know that a person who has possessions, his soul energy is invested in those possessions. So the little boy, the grandson, says, give me your watch and I'll pray for you. It says, Rebbe Nachman, he's a big Rebbe already. Because he's commanding me that I give him an object in order that he prays. So he gave him his watch. So the little boy took the watch and went off to the corner. He said Yiddish, because that was the language that I was speaking. You think, oh, this little boy was really smart. He knew Yiddish. That was the Mama Lashon. So he spoke, and he says, God, las der Zayd is Zayd gesund. God, let the Rebbe, let my grandfather be healthy. So everybody was thinking, oh, so cute, right? They were all like twittering, oh, he's so cute. Rebbe Nachman spoke up and he said, this is not, yes, it's cute, obviously, but he says, this is how you, don't think that just because he's a little boy, that's the way a little boy does it, but me personally, I would pray differently. No, he says, that's the way we need to pray. Excuse me. He says, that's the way we need to pray. He says, what do you mean? How is it possible to pray to Hashem any other way? That he says this is the main way to pray to Hashem, like a child, like a little child before his father, or like you speak to your best friend, your closest friend. So that's why it's a very, the hardest part of Hibodedut is just making yourself do it, because Hibodedut itself, it's very easy. You just Hashem, help! I need your help. I need you to make me better. I don't even know how to ask. I just want you, Father, please help me. I'm lost. I don't know how to be better. I have a Yetzirah. It's stronger than me all the time. I get beat up by it. I don't, Father, help me. Very simple. Of course, anybody who's looked at Likutei Tfilos, Rebbe Nachman's prayers that are all based on Rebbe Nachman's teachings in Likutei Moharan, sees how actually very, 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 very intricate, prosaic, and poetic, and beautiful, and there is an aspect of making the prayer even more eloquent. That's the word I meant. Eloquent. Making the prayer more eloquent, and that is refining it. There is that, but the foundational prayer is very is having simplicity. Rav Nosson, before he would pray in his eloquence, would start out with simplicity. Even sitting and we've talked about it before, sitting and groaning and longing for words. And Hashem, I'm sitting down before you and I don't know what to say. That's another thing we talked about before. Always tell it you want words to come, you want things to come up. Speak the truth, and that will open things. The truth is, Hashem, I want to talk to you, and it's so hard. The truth is, Hashem, I don't really want to talk. I heard it's a good thing to talk to you, and I'm willing to try, but I can feel how much I want to run away. All these things are being simple, talking to Hashem with simplicity and truth. So like a child, like your closest friend. So how hard is that? Maybe the hardest part of it is to really relate to Hashem like that, because it's hard sometimes. People who, especially if you grew up with your parents, God forbid, weren't ideal parents, right? So it's hard to relate that there's this Creator who's an unconditionally loving Father, and if I didn't have that as an experience with my father, if I wouldn't have had that, it would be hard for me to relate to Hashem, because we get accustomed to thinking of Hashem in terms of what we're used to with people. We tend to project our experiences of interacting with people onto Hashem. So we have to really come out of that. Also, the same idea of talking to Hashem like your closest friend. You got to get used to the idea that Hashem's your closest friend. That can be, and how do you do that? Anybody have any suggestions on how would you if you didn't feel like Hashem was your closest friend, what could you do about that? No volunteers? Okay. The answer is always the same. Pray. Say, Hashem, I don't feel like, I heard it's good to talk to you, and I'm supposed to be able to talk to you like my closest friend, but I don't feel like you are. I'd like to feel that you're please help me so that I feel like you're my closest friend. Teach me what I have to do. Open my mind and my heart. Give me advice. How do I come to really relate to you as my closest friend? Or Hashem, I want to relate to you as my unconditionally loving Father, but I don't feel that, and I want to. Please, just again, really simple prayer. Whatever is lacking in your relationship, whatever we're talking about these ideas, whatever is making it difficult, those are the words that you want to say. Until it's get to the point where you're doing Hibodedut regularly, you want to ask Hashem, especially. Not even until even afterwards. We always want to say thank you for these words, Hashem. Thank you for giving me prayer. Thank you for this relationship. May it be your will that I should deepen this relationship with you, and that you should let me have it even more. Those are really very effective prayers. Amar Mem Zayin. I think we'll maybe finish a little bit early today, just as you see. I'm not feeling so great, Baruch Hashem. Mem Zayin. It says, the Rebbe Nachman said, "Afilu kashe'en yecholin ledaber v'izbodinus." Even when a person can't speak, so we're talking about you went out to the forest, you went into a private room. Last we were talking about how you can make yourself a private room. You put your talis over your head, you put a shawl over your head. So you did that, and now you're sitting there. And you can't find what to say. It happens. Even though it's really easy to start to talk. Hashem, give me words. That's the way to pray right there. But sometimes you just can't find yourself able to speak. Maybe, but so he says, Rak tevas ribono shel olam bilvad gam kein tov mod. Just say ribono shel olam, master of the world, master of the world, master of the world, master of the world, ribono shel olam, over and over and over and over, and let go of the voice inside your head that wants to say this is silly, you're uncomfortable. Just keep doing it. You'll see amazing things just from that. It's very good. And he says also, we talked about this in the Ot Bet. He says we already looked this weeks ago. It explains there that even hachana levad, just preparing yourself, the fact that just the fact that you prepared yourself, you went to the room, you put your talis over your head. That itself is wonderful for your relationship with Hashem. Hashem loves that He wanted to make, that you're trying to make an effort to come close to Him. Even if you didn't have words yet, you just put your prayer shawl over your head, or you went into your own room, or you went out to the forest and you intended to speak. That's awesome. And he also said that you can actually recognize in somebody's face whether or not they're talking to us, whether or not they have this type of intimacy with Hashem, and they do ibadut.